Call the regular council meeting for the corporation of the town of Cobalt to order on March 4th, 2025 at 6:30. Start this over in one moment.
I have no idea what's happening. Someone's Bluetoothing it on their phone.
Do you have the hockey game?
Nope.
Anybody have the hockey game on their telephone?
No, we don't have that Bluetooth anyways on there probably. I'd have to sync it, right?
Could happen from somebody outside too.
So.
Try once again. Yep. Call the regular council meeting for the corporation of the town of Cobalt to order on March 4th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Is there any? No. Okay, public meetings, there are none. Deputations, delegations, there are none. 5, adoption of meeting agenda. Draft motion, be it resolved that council approve the agenda of the regular meeting dated March 4th, 2025 as presented. Mover and a seconder, Councillor Lafleur and Councillor Hughes. Any discussion, clarification required on the agenda? No? All in favor? Carried. Adoption of previous council minutes. Draft motion, be it resolved that council approve the following minutes as presented. Regular meeting of council, February 4th, 2025. Special meeting of council, February 12th, 2025. A mover and a seconder, Councillor Lafleur and Councillor Anderson. Any errors, omissions? All in favor? Carried. 7, staff reports. Draft motion, be it resolved that council accepts staff reports as presented. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Lafleur and Councillor Starchuk. 7.1, animal control reports, November 2024, December 2024, January 2025. Any discussion on those? No? 7.2, staff report 2025-03-04-01, frequency of meetings. Any discussion? Steve?
Your worship, just want to remind council that back in February 6, 2024, the committee of the whole meeting at that time, Mayor Edsa brought forward a change in the frequency of meetings. So recommendation was to bring a motion at the regular council meeting on February 20th, 2024, which we did. And at that time, we would go to every 4 weeks and then revisit it in 1 year. Here we are today, revisiting it. So that being said, to do it every 4 weeks, but just to give council an idea of if they think missing meetings or anything like that, we had 9 special meetings. So that was still quite a bit. So whenever we needed one, we put forward a special meeting ahead of time and enough notice to the public. Okay, who was that?
Apologize. This is unusual. I don't think we've ever had this before.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can go off one.
For April, we'll have 2 meetings. April 1st and then April 29th. So, yeah. And at the same time, this allowed us to pass the putting bylaw through. You normally bring it up at the committee of the whole to council to review it. And if you wanted like 2 different readings for it, you would wait 6 weeks.
Connecting.
For that. This way you can have it read at 1 meeting, 4 weeks later, the 3rd reading could be that.
Right, and I believe there was also a thing with the staff that they needed more time. 2 weeks wasn't enough time to get some of the information to council, so a minimum of 3 weeks sometimes to get your information, so that's another benefit. Because it was kind of like useless, I mean, 2 weeks, they still haven't got the information for the next meeting, right? So
Power off.
they just needed the extra time, you know what I mean, the 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks. So we went to 4 weeks to make it easier to make a schedule, right?
Yeah.
If someone had another job, right, for instance, it was easier to make a schedule if it was based on 4 weeks rather than 3 weeks. It was an odd number, right? I just wanted to get that out because there is reasons to what we do.
Yeah. Councillor Anderson?
Yeah, and I think you're very right on that. I think it's worked very well.
Yeah.
And especially for the staff to be able to get things properly prepared and have time to do the research they need and everything. So we're getting good research back in a timely manner. And, you know, so I am all for it.
And also what I was told too, there's other municipalities went to the same format. Is that what there's the
A number of municipalities have increased it to 3. Some have also done it more.
3
So
weeks.
Once
weeks,
every
yeah.
3 weeks.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Are we okay?
Can you ask Councillor Wilcox to test his microphone?
Councillor Wilcox, could you check, test your microphone, please?
Sure.
Okay.
Is that working?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have any thoughts? Okay, so. Okay, staff, 7.3, staff report 2025, 03, 04, 02, committee of adjustments.
Your worship, may I speak on this?
Yes,
At our last regular meeting on February 4th, council established the committee of adjustments. So all the members are actually councillors for that. So we put a request out to the public, those who are interested in becoming a member of the committee of adjustments.
A 5-minute break? Is that okay?
yeah. I'm gonna call a 5-minute recess
For technical issues?
due to technical issues. Yeah.
You over there, you're watching the show.
Resume.
7.3 staff reports, 2025, 03, 04, 02, committee of adjustments. Steve, you want to speak to that?
At the February 4th, 2025 regular council meeting, council established a committee of adjustment, and that committee consists of all 7 council members, including the mayor. So we went with a request to the public interested in joining the committee of adjustment. For a committee, though, council needs to remember, as per our procedure bylaw, committee means any ad hoc
Power off.
or any committee, subcommittee, or similar entity of which at least 50% of the members
It's gotta be coming up. Maybe Dougie's got some soundtracks going on.
So council needs to remember this committee must have at least 50% council members on it. So, we discussed on here, we said like 5 members. So 3 would have to be from council, or 2, talking with our planner, and also looking online, minimum you can have members is 3. So if council wanted to go with a committee of 3, 2 would have to be council, 1 of the public. If they want to go with 5, it would be 3 council members and 2 of the public. So just to give yourselves an idea on which way to go with this. But again, at least 50% and to have an odd number so there wouldn't be a tie. So,
Question?
yes.
What's the committee of adjustment
The
do?
Committee of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial tribunal and an independent body of council appointed citizen members. It reviews the applications for minor variances to land and building used to ensure changes that are in line with the official plan and zoning bylaw and make decisions under sections 45 and section 53 of the Planning Act. So,
That explains
I'm just seeing, there's 4 names that were put forth, but there was only 1 application. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, we'll get to
Yeah.
that
Oh, okay.
further in the agenda. Nope, that's okay.
You're lying.
We'll pull you back in line. Okay, so is that clear? Okay, 7.4, staff report, 2025-03-04-03, Cobalt Coleman Water Agreement. Yeah,
speak on this. Back in December 20th, 2020, Town of Cobalt entered into a 3-year agreement with the Township of Coleman for the sale of water for the Cobalt Coleman water distribution system as authorized by bylaw 2020-51. The agreement expired back at December 31st, 2023, and we've been going with what that agreement was through 2024. And we've been operating month-to-month basis. Purpose of this is to some updates to the agreement. So mostly the same thing, except dates have been changed on it. We removed description of facility described as Schedule C, as Schedule C was blank on the original agreement. This clause now just states that Coleman shall arrange for insurance coverage for the facility and provide proof of coverage to the Town of Cobalt upon request. Also, one thing we can be changing is changing billing frequency from quarterly to monthly to reflect current operations. Also, in the former agreement, there was some discrepancy on what was being charged Coleman and what Cobalt was charging them. So now this new agreement has been amended to state that Coleman will charge Cobalt the same rate as Cobalt bills Coleman for water used at the splash pad. And that was a key one right there. So this has been,
It turns out we were paying Coleman more for our water at the splash pad than we were charging Coleman.
at one point, and it was vice versa the other way.
Yeah. It's been
So-
both ways, so.
Yeah, we just want to clarify this, make it fair, so there's no surprises to both municipalities.
Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Items for council consideration. 8.1, frequency of meetings, 2025. Staff report, 2025-03-04-01. Draft motion. Whereas at the regular council meeting on February 20th, 2024, council directed staff to reevaluate the frequency of council meetings in 1 year. And whereas pursuant to section 6.3.1 of procedural bylaw 2022-25, that public notice of meetings shall be given by posting the meeting schedule as per the term of council calendar as adopted by council. And whereas council received staff report 2025-03-04-01, now therefore be it resolved that council continues regular council meetings with a 4-week interval schedule and adopt the following term of council calendar for 2025. April 1st, 2025, April 29th, 2025, May 27th, 2025, June 24th, 2025, July 22nd, 2025, August 19th, 2025, September 16th, 2025, October 14th, 2025. November 11th. We can't do a November 11th.
As of right now with this, but we would have that, as we get closer to that date, see if council would want to postpone it 1 week or have it the next following day.
Okay,
So we just put it in with what it would normally be.
okay, and that would be the same with the October meeting with Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's already on a Tuesday.
Okay. December 9th, 2025. And further, that the term of council calendar be posted on the town's official website. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Hughes and Councillor Anderson. Any further discussion on the frequency of meetings? Doug?
My only thought would be that in days gone by, we met on the second and first and third Tuesdays of every month. And I know I've had some comments from members, residents, saying that it's very difficult to figure out just when council is meeting with these changing dates. So I'm wondering if council would consider just going to the third Thursday of every month. It would mean losing one meeting, but it would put it on a very stable date for our residents.
What's council think of that?
I don't think it would work out because you have to go every 4 weeks. So
Well, no, if we, instead of every 4 weeks, we just pick a date of every third Thursday of the month.
Tuesday.
I would say Tuesday would be a better day, but make it like the same Tuesday of every month.
Which week is the Legion?
that just throws off.
It would actually change no matter what it is on. If they hold it during a special schedule, like a second or third week,
This should be every 4 weeks, but I'll be honest.
because this year was alternating. So
I'm happy with this.
I'm happy with this way.
Okay, so stay with this one every 4 weeks. Okay, nobody's complained to me either.
It's advertised.
It's advertised.
Advertised on the website. There's plenty of notice.
Up there quite a while.
Okay,
I find it hard to remember. Third, Tuesday, only third Tuesdays, I wouldn't even know.
okay, so all in favor? Carried. 8.2, 2024 council remuneration and expense. Draft motion, be it resolved that the annual statement of 2024 remuneration and expenses for council members be submitted to the Ministry of Municipal Affairs. Mayor, add said Angela, $10,174.92. No expenses. Councillor Anderson Patricia, $6,663.48. No expenses. Councillor Cooper Harry, $2,776.45. No expenses. Councillor Hughes Gary, $6,663.48. No expenses. Councillor Hunter Angela, $6,663.48. No expenses. Councillor LaFleur Renee, $1,665.87. No expenses. Councillor Startuck Chuck Jim, $6,663.48. No expenses. Councillor Wilcox Douglas, $6,663.48. No expenses. There are no committee or board representatives that are paid in honorarium. A mover and a seconder. Councillor LaFleur and Councillor Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. 8.3, Cobalt Committee of Adjustments, Committee Appointments related to Staff Report 2025-03-04-02. Draft motion, whereas the Cobalt Committee of Adjustments requires a composition of 5 members, and whereas Section 2 of the Town of Cobalt's procedural bylaw 2025-25 defines a committee of council of which at least 50% of the members are also of members of council. And whereas council received staff report 2025-03-04-02, and whereas the following residents have submitted their names. Harry Cooper, Matthew Johnson, Suzanne Othmer, all from Cobalt. Matthew McLaren has withdrawn his name. Now therefore be it resolved that council appoints the following members for the Cobalt Committee of Adjustments. And further, that bylaw 2025 to appoint persons to the Cobalt Committee of Adjustments be brought to the regular council meeting dated April 1st, 2025 to be amended to reflect these changes. Need a mover and a seconder? Councillor LaFleur, Councillor Anderson, and discussion.
Your worship?
Yeah.
I didn't know how many members council decided to go with. You just put in 5. If council wants to go with 3 members, then you just change it here and create a new draft motion for 3 members, whatever members they would like, and defeat this one here. Or if they want to go with 7 members, it's council's choice which way to go with this committee.
Councillor Starchuk?
We only have one application though.
Mhm.
So we really only have one person that's eligible because
Yeah.
the others did not put in the application. So unless you want to wait another month to do this, I can't see.
Councillor Anderson?
And as well, I don't want too many on there. They say, look at transit, trying to get our meeting. It's, getting a number of people together. Sometimes very difficult.
So, Councillor Hughes?
This is like a secondary board anyways, eh? This is kind of like something that they'd look at after we kind of took a look at it anyways, or is this all separate?
This would actually, they would be making the decision, wouldn't have to go to council.
Oh.
It relieves council.
Councillor LaFleur?
Yeah, I think we should go with, I like the idea of 3. There's not so many people. And it's, you haven't got so many conflicts. No, I like Mr. Star Truck turned around and said there's only been 1 application. So now, do we wait a little bit longer or do we just accept it? I don't know.
Well, council has to decide how many members they'd like on this committee of adjustments first.
Okay.
Councillor Wilcox?
Thank you, Your Worship. With respect to the numbers on, Committee of Adjustment generally in past has depended on receiving some input from ratepayers as much as from councillors. And while I acknowledge it's nice to have odd numbers on committees, in this instance with 3 applicants and 3 potential councillors, we're still at the 50% requirement for members of council. So I would prefer to go with 6 members and give the 3 who expressed an interest the opportunity to serve.
And unfortunately, Councillor Wilcox, we can't do that because the Committee of Adjustments makes the decisions on the planning issues. They don't come to council for decision. So it has to be an odd number. And we still only have 1 application.
One application.
Well, if you've only got 1 application, then delay it in a month. Try and get some more in.
3 individual or 4 individuals put in. The request was to fill out the committee form. Only 1 was returned.
Okay.
Can we start with 3 on the committee? And if we need more after that?
That's fine with me.
Okay, so how do we do this? We have
Because
to
we have
vote to
one.
defeat
Yeah,
this?
defeat this and then bring it forward with this
Yeah.
many members.
Okay,
Motion.
so all in favor of the 5? Counselor Wilcox?
I'm not in favor.
Defeated. Motion?
Yeah, you do a draft motion, just change
Okay, so new draft motion reads, whereas the Cobalt Committee of Adjustments requires a composition of 3 members, and whereas Section 2 of the Town of Cobalt's procedural bylaw 2022-25 defines a committee of council of which at least 50% of the members are also members of council, and whereas council receives staff report 2025-03-04-02, and whereas the following residents have submitted their names: Harry Cooper, Matthew Johnson, Suzanne Othmer. Now therefore be it resolved that council appoints the following members to the Committee of Adjustments, and further that bylaw 2025-05 to appoint persons to the Cobalt Committee of Adjustments be brought to the regular meeting of council dated April 1st, 2025 to be amended to reflect these changes. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Lafleur and Councillor Anderson.
We'll have to see which councillors do want to remain on the committee, because right now all of council is.
Yep.
So if you want to go down to 3, we need to know which councillors want to remain on the committee of adjustment.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, so a discussion. If we go to 3, we need 1 member of the public and have to decide which 2 members of council will remain on the Committee of Adjustments. Would like to stay on? And you would like to go on? Okay. And accept our 1 applicant that filled out the application?
Because she's got years of,
Councillor Wilcox?
Got a lot of experience.
years.
It's excellent.
Any feedback?
Well, again, as I said earlier, committees of adjustment should reflect ratepayers more than worrying about councillors. To have 2 councillors and 1 ratepayer, to my mind, is not a reasonable committee.
Okay, well, unfortunately, our procedural bylaw states that any committee has to have at least 50%. So we'll go through this motion, and if it's defeated, then we'll go to the 7 number. Fair enough? Okay, so Suzanne Othmer as the resident, Councillor Anderson, and Councillor Lafleur. Councillor Anderson. Councillor Lafleur. Councillor Hughes.
Yes.
Councillor Hunter is absent. Councillor Starchuk.
4.
3.
For 3 on the
Saying 4.
Yeah, he's saying yes.
Councillor Wilcox.
Opposed?
And Mayor Adsett. 4. 5-4. 1 opposed. Carried. Items for council information. Draft motion. Be it resolved that council accept the items for council information as presented. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Lafleur and Councillor Anderson. Discussion 9.1 DSAB budget and municipal apportionment. Any discussion? I've noticed there's an increase.
Your Worship. So DSAP sent me this information last month. Overall, the 2025 DSAP budget increased by 389,457, a 5.42% increase overall. And so to help offset the impact, the board approved $350,000 contribution from the working fund reserve, following last year's $463,000 contribution. Overall, as a municipality, we're going to see a $12,394 increase, or 6.47 over the previous year's billing. Last year's billing was $191,676. It's up this year, $204,070. So.
Any,
Yeah, is
Councilor
that
Clark?
money coming into us, into the town? Is that?
no, that's
we
what
are-
town we're paying out.
They base these factors on the amounts of the property assessment in our municipality, Ontario Works caseload, population, and number of households. So they use those 4 factors.
To figure out the apportionment.
Yeah.
Councillor Hughes?
Was it last year that they had the big surplus?
Yeah, they gave us an additional, they issued a refund of $22,468 back in October of 2024.
Any further discussion on the DSAP budget and municipal apportionment? Councillor Wilcox?
Nope.
Okay, 9.2 DSAP quarterly report, Q4 2024. Any discussion? I know it's a pretty lengthy document to go through. No?
Fix the elevator.
Okay. 9.3, get active Temiskaming event in Cobalt, Saturday, June 7th, 2025. Yep.
Yeah, I was contacted by Sandra Jerlick from the Get Active Temiskaming. They would like to have an event here in Cobalt on June 7th to have a Get Active Temiskaming run. So they do this in other, like in Temiskaming Shores events. They had one at Pete's Dam. They had one at in Hillbury, Lisker, Diamond. This year they like to also include Cobalt. So this would bring a number of individuals to town on Saturday, June 7th.
I was actually pretty happy that they reached out to us. I think that will be a good event for the kids and adults alike. You may even see me out on my scooter. I can't run, can't walk, so I'll scooter it.
This is a walking event, like,
Yeah, I believe it's just to get active. It's to encourage everybody to get out and just be active. Okay, so as we get more information, we will post it on both our Facebook site and our website. Okay. 9.4, Northern Hospice Care update. Speak to that,
Yep.
please.
So what they've done actually is they've also changed it to Northern Hospice Care, the name of their community. And they're going to be more local, more involved with communities this year. They were established last year. So just bringing forward, introducing themselves, and making themselves more known to the public.
Okay. 9.5, Temiskaming Health Unit Board Minutes, December 4th, 2024. Any clarification or discussion on those? No? Okay, Northeastern Public Health Board Minutes, January 1st, 2025. Any discussion? 9.7, Cobalt Historical Society Board Minutes, February 10th, 2025. Any clarification or discussion? Okay, all in favor? Carried. 10, bylaws and agreements. 10.1, bylaw 2025-07, to enter into an agreement for the sale of potable water to the Township of Coleman related to staff report 2025-03-04-03. Draft motion, whereas council received staff report 2025-03-04-03 with a recommendation to adopt bylaw 2025-07, and whereas the council of the town of Cobalt deems it desirable to enter into an agreement for the provision of providing the sale of potable water to the Township of Coleman. Now therefore be it resolved that council corporation of the town of Cobalt hereby enacts as follows. 1, that the mayor and clerk are hereby authorized to enter into an agreement with the corporation of the Township of Coleman for the sale of potable water for the Coleman water distribution system for the period covering January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027, a copy of which is attached. That bylaw number 2020-51 be hereby repealed. Taken as read a first, second, and third time and passed this 4th day of March 2025. And further, that the said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Lafleur and Councillor Starchuk. Any discussion? No? Councillor Wilcox?
No.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Councillor Wilcox, unless I hear a nay or something from you, I'll assume you're voting yes. If that's acceptable.
Or you could say all in favor, any opposed.
Okay. Unfinished business, 11.1, council suggestions to bylaw 2013-037 to regulate keeping of animals and the registration of dogs and cats within the town of Cobalt. The reason I asked staff to put this on the agenda is, if you remember, I had asked council to come back with any suggestions for updating our animal control bylaw to get us started on this. This was one of our items that come up on our strategic planning at the beginning of the term. So council have suggestions they'd like to forward to the staff. And I'd also like to request that the public is also welcome to send suggestions into the town office. And the email is cobalt@cobalt.ca for sending suggestions in for the public. Councillor Starchuk?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question about the coops, the hen coops, keeping of hens.
Yeah.
If there's any registration process, is there any reporting to the town that, yes, I have a chicken coop and so many chickens I have? Is there anything like that?
No.
I suggested maybe that we should be doing something like it, not to charge a fee. You don't want to discourage people from having food, right? But just to say that you have this, so that they can, but there's quite the list of things they have to do to keep these hen coops in good condition and sanitary. So there's a lot of rules here to follow. And I'm wondering if you had a registration process that you could have annual inspections or random inspections to see if these people are keeping these places sanitary. Like, because it's the one, it's like 7.9.1 number or letter D, all refuse and waste matter from the hen coop must be disposed of daily in a proper and sanitary manner, and no such refuse or waste matter shall be burned or stored. Like we want to, like, because of bird flu, right? You think of things can happen, like man in the States got a problem. But just that have regular checks, like I don't know if even regular random checks to come in to the coop and see if these things are done, because there's a list of things here. I don't want to take up so much time reading it all, but it's all in here in the bylaw.
Well, we can look into that to see if we can legally ask people to register so that we know who has coops.
You have to register a dog and a cat, you know what I mean?
So, but I just want to make sure that we're covered. I think it's a good idea.
It needs to be sanitary. I mean, really.
And that would
But
include
dogs-
pigeons and stuff, if you have pigeons.
Yeah, but dogs are the same thing. Our bylaw indicates that you have to make sure that there is no animal feces left
Well,
anywhere.
the kennels are up for inspection. If you read about annual inspections for kennels.
Yeah,
So
so
why
we
not
could
for hen-
implement
why
something
not
like
for,
that.
hen coops? Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very good suggestion. You have that one? Okay. When we get down into more of the meat of this, we'll ask the animal control officer to come in and give us some feedback as well. Because she's the one that has to enforce this at this time, or the next animal control officer will have to enforce it. So I think it's a good idea to bring them in on the discussion of this as well. Okay, so I would strongly recommend that council keep the copy of their animal control bylaw and go through it and highlight and send whatever notes that you compile into the office so that we can have it compiled into a report. Okay? And we won't do this at the next meeting, but at the meeting after that, at the end of April. Okay, April 29th. Okay. New business, 12.1, schedule of accounts. Draft motion, be it resolved that council receives the following schedules as presented. Schedule number 2025-04 in the amount of $261,771.20. Schedule number 2025-05 in the amount of $31,730.79. A mover and seconder, Councillor Lafleur and Councillor Anderson. Any clarification required? Discussion? All in favor? Councillor Wilcox?
Yep.
Carried. 13, Mayor's Report. Okay, I'm sure everybody knows what happened today, that the tariffs from the US came into place. And listening
Could you repeat that?
that the tariffs from the
Oh,
US
yeah.
that President Trump implemented came into effect. I watched the news conferences today from both our Prime Minister and our Premier of the province, Premier Ford. And Premier Ford has called on all 444 municipalities of Ontario to buy Ontario or Canadian wherever possible to support Canada's response to the US tariffs. And on speaking with our staff today, they've assured me that we do, and we try to purchase locally or purchase in Ontario or Canada, wherever possible, unless we have no other option. And I strongly encourage our residents to do the same. We're all going to feel some pain. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm sure nobody else is looking forward to it. So let's all hope for a speedy end to it. And on a local front, I would like to ask our residents to please, please be patient with our Public Works Department, especially in the next few days with the forecasted storm. They, as always, will do their best, and in fact have done a fantastic job this winter with the different weather systems that we've had over the winter. It's not going to be perfect. Nobody is. But as usual, they'll do their absolute best, and we need to really support them in doing that. Okay?
I think they did an awesome job so far. I really do.
And 14, closed meeting. Draft motion, be it resolved that council convene in closed session as per section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended. in order to address a matter pertaining to subsection 2A, security of the property of the municipality or local board. 2B, personal matter about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Lafleur and Councillor Hughes, all in favor? Councillor Wilcox?
Yes.
Okay. We won't be returning to video after the closed session. And we will take a 10-minute recess.
Yes.
Because we didn't want to ask the media moderator to stay due to the weather. We're not going to be able to do a recording or have him stay for you to attend via Zoom. You want to call him?
In that instance, yeah, I can sign off, but could I please get a memo indicating what was discussed?
Yeah. Yep. Steve
Okay.
said he'll do that.
I don't think he heard you say you can call in too, right now. You could be on the phone.
You can call in if you would like it as well.
That would be awkward right now.
Okay.
I'd be happy to get a report.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
See you, Doug.
Okay. I am